Hello, Algebra 1 students. This is Mr. McElhaney. You might remember me as your Algebra 1 teacher. And I am talking to you today from my kitchen. I'm going to show you today how to factor a trinomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c into the product of two binomials. It's an important skill for this class, and it's an important skill for Algebra 2, pre-calculus, and calculus. So let's get right to it. Let's suppose that you wanted to factor x squared plus 4x minus 12 into the product of two binomials. Well, the first thing you'd have to do is you'd have to decide what a, b, and c are. And that's pretty simple, because a always multiplies the x squared, b always multiplies the x, and c is always the constant. All right, so there's really, as you know, an invisible 1 right there. That's an invisible 1. So you know that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, and c, don't forget the pats, is negative 12. All right, now, the next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to multiply a times c together. In this case, a is 1 and c is negative 12. And when you multiply those two numbers together, you get negative 12. So far, so good. Identify a, b, and c. Multiply a times c together. Next step. You are now going to look for two numbers. I call these numbers your special numbers. These special numbers are going to have to do two things. They're going to have to multiply together to get a times c, which, as you know, is negative 12. And, remember that word and, right? It's different from or. And. They are also going to have to add together to get b, which, as you know, in this case, b is 4. So to be successful and to be pretty good at factoring, you're also going to have to be pretty good at your multiplication tables. You're going to have to be pretty good at your patting also. So the big question is, what two numbers multiply together to give negative 12 and add together to give positive 4? Those two numbers, those special numbers, are going to be 6 and negative 2. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. 6 plus negative 2 is positive 4. All right, now we're going to use those special numbers to help factor. So here's what you started with. You started with x squared plus 4x minus 12. You're now going to use these two special numbers to rewrite this into a 4-term polynomial. The order in which you use the 6 and negative 2 is not important. You could do the 6 first and then the negative 2, or you could do the negative 2 first and then the 6. It does not matter. I'm going to use the 6 first and the negative 2 second. So here's the rewrite. The rewrite is going to be x squared special number number 1 plus 6x, special number number 2 minus 2x minus 12. I want you to notice that 6x minus 2x is equal to 4x. So you haven't changed the polynomial. You've only changed the way it looks, but the polynomial is still exactly the same. All right, now think back. We're going to do this now. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut this in half so that you have 2 terms on the left and you've got 2 terms on the right. All right, for the left-hand side, what's the GCF? What's the GCF of x squared and 6x? What do they have in common? They have an x. So we're going to factor this using the GCF. X times, all right, so what has to go in here so that when you distribute the x, you get x squared plus 6x back? It's going to be x plus 6. X times x is x squared, exponent property 2. X times 6 is 6x. All right, now you're going to rewrite x plus 6 over here. You have to have the same thing in both of these sets of parentheses. And now the big question is, you're going to need a multiplier right here so that when you multiply whatever this number is by the x, and then you multiply that number by the 6, you get negative 2x minus 12. Right here, negative 2x minus 12. What is that number? That number is negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. So now, last step, what we did in class before we left. We're going to write 2 binomials. The first binomial is what's inside the parentheses, which is x plus 6. The second set of parentheses is what's outside the parentheses, which is x minus 2. This is the answer. If you don't see this is the answer, it's okay, but you can prove it to yourself by doing this. Foil this. We're not going to do this on this video, but you foil it on your own. And you will see that when you foil, you get what we started with. X squared plus 4x minus 12. All right. Great job, folks. And we will talk to you later. Bye.